Hi, welcome to Resource Sessions. I'm Kelly Garver with Sterk Family Law Group. Today, we have the honor and privilege of having Colleen Connolly with us, runs a nonprofit called Catherine's Cause. Hi, Colleen. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Great. Thank you for joining us. We're honored to have you as our current nonprofit hero. So we were hoping today that you could tell us a little bit about Catherine's Cause and who you service and a little bit of the background about it.
Sure. So my name is Colleen Connolly, like she already said. My husband and I co-founded Catherine's Cause, and it has a little bit of a backstory, which I feel ties in pretty well with kind of what we're trying to aim to achieve. So we had to get pregnant via IVF in 2019. And we started that whole process after I had gotten sick. I was a cancer survivor in 2016. So then in 2019, we were finally ready to start our family. Our options were only IVF at the time. So we did IVF, and it was almost textbook from what I was told in terms of transferring. Catherine was, I got pregnant right away. We didn't know that if she was gonna be a boy or girl at the time. And at a appointment when I was 24 weeks pregnant, it was just a routine appointment. Went in, I had zero symptoms or nothing was wrong. Went in and the ultrasound tech had to leave the room real quick. She's like, "I'll be right back." I'm like, "Okay." Didn't think anything of it, but then some gut feeling just told me that it didn't really sound well because it that had never happened before, obviously. Brings in the doctor, and then the doctor had to tell me that the baby had no heartbeat anymore. Um, and something I didn't even take into consideration amongst the chaos, I will call it, was that I had to deliver her. So going to the hospital was kind of traumatizing in itself, knowing that you're delivering a baby that's not alive, but still your baby. So you have to do everything, obviously. We went to the hospital. We were, greeted like you would if you were actually going into labor. They did all the pre-op stuff and everything. Um, and then shortly right after I was in the room, I had a grief counselor who came in and introduced herself and was very relaxed, and just kind of said, what would make this situation better? And I was like, the obvious, obviously,
Yeah.
but that's not going to happen. So what she did was she took away anything in the room that would have accommodated a live birth, meaning she took away, I don't know the exact medical term, but she took away that warming tray when a baby's born. They put on the tray, weigh him, and all that stuff. They took that out of the room. They took away any like instruments that they would have needed for a live birth out of the room. And this was kind of in COVID times still, so it's 2021 at the time. It was only my husband and I. And we really neither of us had anything to say really. We're just kind of sitting in a room of silence for a while, and then after a little bit, the grief counselor came back and said, I got some kind of special permission to get one of your moms to come in here if you want. And I was like, that would make things a lot better. So my mom was actually there. Went through the whole being induced. I had Catherine on the morning of January 21st, 2021. And they let you stay with the baby for as long as you want. They let you hold the baby, and then they encourage you taking pictures, which in the midst of it seemed like a horrendous idea. Like, this is not happy. We don't want these, not that we didn't want the pictures, but we didn't want to go through this to pretend. But so on our Facebook page, I posted kind of some raw pictures, not of Catherine per se, but of the emotion that my husband Peter and I were feeling, which was just kind of distraught. There's some sad photos in there, obviously, but the photos that we have of her now, I'm so glad that they made us do, not made, but encouraged us to do it, because we have those pictures hanging around our house now. And, in hindsight, that's all we have is just those little pictures and memories that obviously we have with her. Um, but the good thing is that when we were in there, we got like we got a small blanket when we saw her, and we were leaving. And then we also got like a little keepsake ornament, like for Christmas or whatever. But obviously it goes on the tree. But we left with something. And after kind of everything was said and done, we're just a family that likes to give back in general. My mother-in-law and her good friends started knitting little blankets for the same purposes. People can use them when they're comfort items to the parents. So they started making blankets, and occasionally every now and then we would just keep going back to the hospital that we were at. We would give them these blankets that we made every couple months or so. And then another layer started like, oh, maybe we could put bracelets with to match when they take the pictures, maybe mom and baby could match. So we started making those and they're like, oh, we forgot about dad maybe. So then we started adding a keychain. So it for years it's just been piling on as these little puzzle pieces. And then after we had our we did end up years later, we do have two children. Um, a boy and a girl. And after our son was born in April, we started really kind of thinking about like maybe we should go a little bit further and make a nonprofit out of this or see what we can do. My background is in nonprofits. I'm a licensed social worker and I've been in the field for about 20 years. So I know of nonprofits. I just don't know how to start one. So um, we kind of threw out on a whim, like, does anybody know how to start one? And thankfully somebody kind of reached out and they helped us get Catherine's Cause up and running. And our main focus is on the keepsakes that parents can take home so that nobody has to leave the labor and delivery floor empty-handed. So we rely a lot on donations. A lot of people donate their times to help us create these keepsakes. I certainly don't know how to crochet or knit, but I am certainly willing to do other things, which is kind of the beauty of Catherine's Cause. So in a nutshell, that is how we kind of came to this point. So we're up and running. We're getting our we have our website up finally. We have our social media, our Facebook and Instagram pages. But we're still in the beginning phases. We still got a lot that we want to do. But for now, we're focusing on getting our name out there and letting people know that they can, come to our community to help us craft and support these parents going through similar situations.
Well, thank you for sharing your story and the background of that. That's a lot for anybody to deal with, and I appreciate that. Although that was probably one of the most trying times that you've had to go through, and anyone's going to have to go through, that you've been able to take this and turn it into a means to help other people for sure. Um, like I said, in the moment, everything kind of probably felt so surreal, but like kind of in hindsight, looking back, and I think that the mission that you've created right now is going to be so very important, and it's going to be something down the line that's really going to touch people when they're going to need it most later. So I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah, we found that, the parents are our center focus, but then we started thinking about other people. Maybe they have a sibling
Mhm.
that has survived, and we've not survived, it's a sibling that they have at home. So we kind of try to include, not in every basket, but something a little childlike. If they do have a sibling, we let the hospital decide. And once they meet the family, they decide who gets what keepsakes we've made. But then we also realized that like grandparents of the baby also needed a place to heal, and a lot of grandparents, when they retire, they do crafting or they still know how to knit or crochet. So it's a healing place for them too, which is something that we didn't think of before, but we're glad that it was brought to our attention because it's clearly something that it's a healing process for the entire family, not just the parents, which is kind of, great to hear that it's helping other people too.
That's amazing. So you said that like some people started volunteering and donating stuff. Do you have any like organized like groups that you do like crafting with, or people just kind of do it like a one-off, or is it both, or?
So it started with people just wanting we marketed ourselves on social media a lot in the beginning. We were kind of up and coming, so we didn't have a website at the time. It was all of just us kind of reaching out saying, hey, we would love to know if anybody knows how to craft. Do you know how to, make cards? Or if you can't make a card, you can certainly write a card, I'm sure. Which people have been like, I don't craft at all. But the beauty of it is that you don't need a background in crafting. You don't need to be an expert at anything. We have people that knit and crochet, and they donated that. We just kind of put a blurb out saying if you have any yarn or anything that you've created, and you want to find a home for it, we would be happy to take it. And we relied off of all donations, and that kind of sparked us and blew up in a very positive way. So we would take, blankets, quilts that people made. Some woman made some like little teddy bears out of like sewn blankets, which was really cute. And some people also have sewn christening gowns because we had the opportunity at the hospital that we were at. We had the opportunity to baptize Catherine, and that was something that we definitely wanted. And the outfit that she was wearing at the time was something that was donated as well. So that was just another layer of things that we could help create. We still do the bracelets. We still do the keychains. So we really kind of created a crafting community, essentially. We have our first event coming up, which is also a crafting event. It's a free event that's happening at the Chicago Agricultural High School Saturday, February 7th. It's from 9 to 1. It's a drop-in event. So you can come, you can just meet us if you want, you can leave. You can donate it and you can drop off any projects you already completed that you had intention of dropping off, and or you could start and or learn a new craft. There will be some experienced crafters there as well. It's just a community, a kind of a social networking at first. It's our inaugural event, so it's just more socializing. People kind of put names to faces. But we're happy to invite anybody and anybody that wants to attend just to, spread our mission and see. A lot of people have asked how they could help, and this would be a good in-person way to learn how you can help us.
That's wonderful. Hopefully the inaugural event goes well, and I'm sure that it'll be a good turnout. Is this something that you were hoping to like maybe look forward to like doing like quarterly or something, hopefully in the future, or anything like that? Or
Yeah, I think being that crafting is our foundation, I think that it's a good thing that we keep up the crafting events.
Mhm.
Again, it's for a couple hours on a Saturday, or it doesn't even have to be a Saturday in the future, but it's just a good opportunity for us to all just kind of come together and just see, brainstorm other ideas. Maybe there's something we didn't think of that a crafter might know. So yeah, this is just one of many. We also are going to do many fundraising opportunities as well. In the future, we hope to take our fundraising efforts and not just buy craft supplies, but we hope to really provide these parents and or families that have gone through similar situations. We hope to provide them like a one-time funded opportunity for like a night out, just to kind of hit the restart button and refresh, because that Peter and I were lucky enough to have a good support system that not supplied, but donated this stuff to us. So we got a night out in the city and we went to a Broadway show just to kind of hit a restart button. And it's always kind of beneficial. I like to say that we always, everybody around us always made sure that we chose love first. It can be a really trying time for couples, and it can pull you in one of two directions. And I'm glad it took us in the more positive direction. But those little opportunities did help us. So in the future, once we have created enough of donations, we would love to do that for other people too. But we're not there yet, but we're still making sure that everybody can at least, leave the labor and delivery, floor with something in their arms. So that's our main focus. And yes, we will plan on partnering with some other crafting stores actually in the future as well. So
that's wonderful. No, it sounds like you've made a lot of headway, and you have to walk before you can run, but I'm sure you'll be off running soon. I can tell with the
yes.
the passion and dedication you have, and it sounds like you've already built up like a great community within, just in the short amount of time that you've been doing it, and I think that's wonderful. So on your website, what is your website?
So it's catherinescause.net.
Okay.
It don't forget the S, because some people, and so it's in it. If you Google it, there's also something called Catherine's Caring Cause, which is different from us. Catherine's Caring Cause is a completely separate nonprofit. Ours is just Catherine's Cause. You can also, if you can't find the website, you can also go to just Google and just type in Catherine's Cause Tinley Park. That'll come up too, because we have been featured in a couple other like newspapers. So it should pop up that way. We're also on Facebook. We have a lot of um, we generate a lot of conversations via Facebook as well. So we try to keep both as current as possible. So we're very excited for the amount of it's one thing when you think you have a good idea, but it's a whole nother topic when anybody from the community who doesn't know your story just believes in your mission too. So that's so empowering, and we're grateful and humbled by that.
I love it. So is there any needs at this time that, we could help spread the word about that you need? Obviously, you've got people donating time and arts and just, work and trying to help. If there's anything that you need specifically that we can do and ask for.
We just need to we would love to right now we kind of donate to one hospital, and the reason we only donate to one hospital right now is because that's where we had Catherine, and that's where we knew that we had a connection with. So it's Advocate Christ Medical Center is where we are right now. We hope to expand to be able to go to other local hospitals. We're not trying to get too big and too ahead of ourselves. So we're starting off slow. So what we really need is people who are dedicated enough to craft right now. And when I say craft, again, I don't mean expert level, anything. I just mean like the willingness to either want to learn a craft or the willingness to write the cards, make a card. It doesn't matter. We do bracelets, jewelry, quilts, anything like that. Since this is the foundation layer, this is really what we're focused on right now. So the more we have, the more we can help parents, in different hospitals too. So that's actually what we need is just volunteers right now. And aside from our event, a lot of people just call me when they either email me or and all of my information is on Facebook and on the website as well. They just tell me when they have completed stuff. If it's not in time for an event yet, they usually just do that. We meet somewhere and we pick up the donations, and then they start again. So I mean, it's really kind of a good thing that we have there. So crafters is really what we need.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I'll be sure. I know I mean, that could be a good opportunity too for people who are looking to do a group with, teens or a work type of employee event or something that could be a really good opportunity, even like, doing something
Yeah,
crafty.
yeah, we've been asked if I would give service hours to teens. I'm like, absolutely.
Oh,
You create the
perfect.
event, then we've created service hour opportunities. We also want to make a really big presence in the Tinley Park Irish Parade coming up on March 8th. That's at 1 o'clock. So we're trying to get as many people as possible to come join us. It's also free. Again, information on those on both of our sites too.
Wonderful. Well, Colleen, thank you so much for, again, sharing your story and your mission and passion behind this and doing what you're doing for everyone. We're so honored excuse me, feature you as a nonprofit hero. And we'll do our best to share the message to people we can and help people get involved to help you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.